Hey, everybody, this is Stan Scott with Foggy Bottom Line Media. With the reports yesterday of the arrest by the FBI of Terry Rozier, a former Louisville Cardinal and now Miami Heat player, and Chauncey Billups, the coach of the Portland Trailblazers, uh, I thought I'd do a quick spot report on sports betting and gambling in general. I do have some expertise on this subject. I've basically been a gambler for most of my life. My old man, God rest his soul, was an illegal bookie back in Little Rock in the 70s. He taught me to play poker and blackjack when I was very young, like 13, 14 years old. And this honestly helped me in a way with math. It helped me understand probabilities and statistics, why they matter, and how to parse what they mean. And it also taught me the problems with gambling. And there are some problems with this being more legal now than it was then. The way it worked back in the day, you call the bookie, and he would tell you what the line was, what the point spread was, or the over under, whatever. And back then, that's pretty much what they bet was, the over under, the line, the point spread. You didn't see a lot of betting on how many home runs, Mike Schmidt would hit, or how many strikeouts Tom Seaver would get in a game. But he would take your bet. You'd say, I want $100 on the Razorbacks, +5 against the Longhorns, whatever. And then if you won, you would collect your money, typically over a beer at a bar. And if you lost, you paid back 10% vigorous, which meant it cost you 110. So the goal of the bookie is to basically get an even amount of bets on both sides. So if $1,000 are bet on Arkansas and $1,000 are bet on Texas, then whoever loses pays 1,100. The bookie uses that to pay the winner, and then he keeps the $100 as sort of a payment for holding the bet. That's how they made money, and they didn't really care very much if you didn't pay everything you owed. Because if you ended up with a pretty big book of people who owed you money, especially if they were prominent people, then you had a passive income, right? You just let them keep betting. They didn't break kneecaps. They wanted you to keep betting, right? As long as you were paying something, they were happy to let you keep betting. Doesn't work like that now. The whole percentage part is the same. That's how these sports betting apps make money, is they take the money from the losers, and they use that to pay the winners, but the losers always pay more than the winners win. And that's how the house takes its cut. That's how they get their money. And the house, unless you're a dedicated, full-time, brilliant, professional gambler, the house is going to beat you in the long run. They just are. It's built that way. It's the reason why those guys are always rich and most gamblers are not, or at least they're not rich from gambling. Now, way back in the day, the NFL and the NBA and all those sports professional sports leagues, they opposed legalized gambling, and they opposed it because they were worried about the thing we talking about now, is that players and coaches are involved in some kind of point shaving, some kind of making a decision to not play a player, so that to increase the chances of one side winning. These guys make decisions not only before and during the game, but in the middle of a play. They make decisions. It's very easy for a quarterback to throw an interception if he wants to throw the game. It's very easy for someone to fumble the football if he wants to throw a game, for the batter to strike out. And trust me, this is happening. Rozier, now Billups was arrested for playing in a mafia poker game. And trust me, if you're playing in a mafia poker game where hundreds of thousands of dollars are at play, you should be on yellow alert that there's a good chance it's fixed. So maybe you stay away from that game. If you're that guy, you can find a pretty good poker game in Vegas. They'll set it up for you. It'll be legal and it won't be fixed. So what's the problem here? The problem is that it's too easy to do. I download an app on my phone, I connect it to my bank account, and I can just hit buttons and bet all weekend. I can bet on the World Series tonight, Friday night. I can bet on college football tomorrow, Saturday. I can bet on the NFL on Sunday, and then on NBA games and more World Series games next week. And I can just keep feeding money into this app, right? I can just keep feeding money into this app, just pressing a button. If I lose a game, I can just add another $100 and play some more, or $1,000. I saw a report the other day of someone who literally emptied their 401k account doing this because it's just too easy. Now, the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball, who were once again against this, seem to have settled down and become okay with it. And it's not hard to see why if you watch a game, because these games are full of advertisements for these gambling apps. The NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball, these professional sports leagues are making money on these apps. They're making money on gambling. The college football, the ESPN, CBS, NBC, ABC, they're all making money on these apps. And that's why the pro sports leagues are okay with it after opposing it for most of their history. Now, what does this have to do with politics? Well, politicians, legislators make it legal or not legal, and they put restrictions on it. If you look at VPAP, you can see which of your House of Delegates candidates have taken money from gambling interests, the kind that want to build casinos in Richmond or in Norfolk or Virginia Beach or Fredericksburg or Williamsburg. They want to build these because they're money printing machines. They are literally cash printing machines. And unless you're completely incompetent, like a president we know, you can't lose money running a casino. You have to be totally lost and distorted to make that happen. So this is big money, and it's not coming off the backs of people like me, right? Because I'm betting, maybe $20-$40 a month on this. I win as often as I lose, right? So I'm basically breaking even because I understand it. And it's possible to make money in the short term, but people get addicted to this like they get addicted to cigarettes and alcohol and drugs, and then they can't help themselves, and they hurt themselves and their families. So what's the answer? Well, Virginia already has one restriction on this here in the Commonwealth, and that is that you can't bet on Virginia teams. So when Louisville played UVA, I couldn't bet on that game, right? Because it's illegal in Virginia to bet on a Virginia-based sports team, right? Or college-based sports team anyway. So more restrictions like that would help. Another one that would help would be to limit the amount, force people to wait a certain amount of time after making a deposit to bet again. So if I can't just sit there and keep adding money as I lose, I could put $100 in on Friday, bet all weekend on that $100. But if I lose it, I can't, and I put more money in, I can't use that money to bet until, I don't know, the next weekend. Details, it's all about the details on these kinds of things. But what I'm pointing out is that when these things are this ubiquitous, and when you get banned from one, you just jump to another one because there's 27 million of them out there now. So this is a social problem we need to think about. And we need to tag our representatives in the legislature, in Congress, and in the Virginia legislature about this, because they're taking campaign contributions from these companies, from the people who make a lot of money from this. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with gambling as a moral question. I don't think it's immoral to do it. But I think, like a lot of other things, it can hurt people who are unable to view it as entertainment and who can't control themselves. And trust me, some of us can't. So curious to know what you think about on this subject. You can find me at www.foggybottomline.com. We're on YouTube at Foggy Bottom Line Media, and we're on the other social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, as at Foggy Bottom Line. I'd really like to know what you think. And if I get some good comments on this, I'll do an update here pretty soon. I think this is a serious issue that we underplay. I don't think we pay enough attention to this. And I think it's beginning to get a little bit out of hand. And I think it'd be good to start a discussion about what we can do to help people overcome this if they are addicted to it, and to help people have fun with it, like me. If you just want to drop $20 on a football game because you think you know who's going to win. So some comments welcome. This is October 24th, 2025. It's a Friday, so I hope everyone has a good weekend. Had a good weekend, and take care. And we'll see you next time. Please reach out, subscribe, like, comment, share, and let us know what you think. Appreciate you.